So, Battlefield 6 is here. And for the first time in years, it brings a fully fleshed out single-player campaign alongside its massive multiplayer suite. Given how Battlefield 2042 launched without a real story mode, expectations were sky high. Could DICE and Ripple Effect finally give players a campaign that feels worth playing, not just an afterthought? Set in the year 2027, the world of Battlefield 6 feels alarmingly close to our own. Global alliances have fractured. NATO is on life support, and a powerful private military organization called Pax Armata is stepping into the vacuum. You play as a member of Dagger 13, an elite Marine Raider unit dropped into hotspots around the globe to counter this new threat. Across 9 missions ranging from deserts and mountains to sprawling urban war zones, you'll experience about 4 to 9 hours of campaign gameplay, depending on how you play. So, is it worth your time? Let's break it down. Visuals, set pieces, and atmosphere. The first thing that stands out is how Battlefield 6 looks. The Frostbite engine has never looked better. Lighting, particle effects, reflections, and explosions all combine into jaw-dropping cinematic moments. You'll skydive through storms, drive tanks across collapsing bridges, and witness entire buildings crumble in front of you all in real time. Each location feels distinct. The windswept dunes of North Africa, the rain-soaked streets of Prague, the snowy peaks of the Caucasus. The Level Art team deserves real credit for crafting environments that make you want to stop and just look around. Even the quiet interiors, underground bunkers, abandoned museums tell stories through environmental details. 2. Gunplay and mechanics. If there's one thing DICE consistently nails, it's gun feel, and Battlefield 6 doubles down on that. Every weapon sounds powerful and tactile. The recoil system and hit feedback feel tuned to perfection. The game's new kinesthetic combat system lets you mantle, slide, and move around cover more fluidly than ever. You can even drag downed allies to safety before reviving them, a small touch that adds a lot of immersion. Destructibility is back in full force, and it's not just cosmetic. Blowing a hole through a wall to flank enemies or opening up new routes changes how you approach combat. It's not quite everything is destroyable, but it's far more tactical than the scripted destruction of older titles. Mission variety and scale. While the overall structure sticks to familiar shooter patterns, infiltrate, destroy objectives, extract the campaign keeps things lively through environmental shifts and changing objectives. One mission has you sneaking through fog-covered woods at night. The next sees you piloting a drone swarm above a battlefield. These shifts help keep the campaign from feeling monotonous. The scale of certain missions is breathtaking. You might be storming an airfield with tanks rolling beside you, jet fighters screaming overhead, and distant artillery pounding the horizon. For once, the single-player side actually captures that signature Battlefield chaos. Technical prowess and audio. The sound design deserves a special mention. Gunfire echoes realistically, explosions have real weight, and even the ambient noise, the hum of drones, the crackle of distant fire adds immersion. The orchestral score leans into a mix of military tension and melancholy, fitting the campaign's darker tone. All told, when Battlefield 6 fires on all cylinders, it feels spectacular. You can tell a lot of love went into making it look and sound like a blockbuster war film. Where it falls short, a thin story and forgettable characters. Here's where the cracks start to show. The narrative setup is solid. On paper, fractured world order, rogue militaries, elite squads, but the execution feels shallow. The main cast is functional but bland. They lack the depth and personality that make you care about their fates. You've got the gruff commander, the stoic sniper, the tech specialist who cracks one-liners, but beyond archetypes, they never evolve. Even your own character feels like a cipher. Cutscenes try to inject drama, but the writing rarely lands emotionally. The campaign touches on political themes, corporate warfare, erosion of national loyalty, but it doesn't really say anything about them. It plays it safe, avoiding commentary that could have made it feel modern and relevant. Mission design and AI problems. While the missions look great, their structure is predictable. Too many objectives boil down to blow up this radar, escort this convoy, or defend this position. It's not bad, it's just familiar. You rarely get those unexpected, emergent moments that make you replay a level differently the next time. AI is another weak point. Enemies sometimes freeze, run in circles, or fail to notice you altogether. Friendly squad mates often feel like background extras, rarely doing much to change the flow of battle. It's not game-breaking, but it definitely breaks immersion. Bugs and Polish issues. Battlefield 6 launched in a better technical state than 2042. But that's not saying much. the campaign still has bugs, stuck objectives, awkward animations, pathfinding issues. A few missions have checkpoint glitches that force you to replay sections. Nothing catastrophic, but it adds frustration to an otherwise smooth experience. That brevity wouldn't be a problem if every hour were packed with storytelling or gameplay innovation, but too many missions feel like extended tutorials for multiplayer mechanics. As a result, the campaign feels more like an appetizer than a main course. Comparisons and context. When you stack Battlefield 6 against earlier entries, it lands somewhere between Battlefield 3 and Hardline. It's not as emotionally resonant as BF3, not as experimental as Hardline, but certainly a step up from the hollow spectacle of BF4 or the disjointed 2042 experience. It's clear the developers wanted to reclaim the classic Battlefield feel boots on the ground, large-scale destruction, grounded tech after the futuristic detours of recent years. In that sense, they've succeeded. The tone is serious, the visuals are grounded, and the atmosphere is convincingly militaristic. However, when compared to campaigns from competitors like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, or Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, Battlefield 6 lacks a strong narrative hook. Where those games excel through memorable characters or story twists, Battlefield 6 leans almost entirely on spectacle. So, if you go in expecting a blockbuster movie that you play through, you'll enjoy it. If you're expecting a deeply written war drama, you may leave unsatisfied. The verdict, taken on its own terms, Battlefield 6's campaign is a good-looking, occasionally thrilling, but ultimately shallow experience. It's an impressive showcase of the engine and a great warm-up for multiplayer, but it doesn't reach the emotional or mechanical heights of the best single-player shooters. The highlights, destruction, visuals, and combat feel make it absolutely worth one playthrough. The low points, generic writing, predictable missions, short runtime keep it from greatness. If we're putting a number on it, I'd rate the campaign around 7 out of 10. It's solid, sometimes spectacular, but not unforgettable. For Battlefield fans, it's a welcome return to form after 2042's absence of story. For narrative-driven shooter fans, it's an entertaining detour, not a must-play masterpiece. Looking ahead, there's room for improvement and reason for optimism. The foundation here is strong. If DICE builds on this for future installments, Battlefield could finally have a campaign that rivals its multiplayer legacy. What would that look like? More dynamic AI and emergent gameplay. Let players create chaos organically, not just watch scripted sequences, deeper writing and character arcs. Give the soldiers humanity their losses, fears, doubts, mission diversity. Mix in stealth, reconnaissance, or moral choice moments instead of constant explosions. Replay value. Optional objectives, multiple endings, or branching routes could make each run feel fresh, polish, and consistency. Less focus on cinematic wow moments, more on gameplay that flows seamlessly. If DICE listens, the next Battlefield campaign could finally stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the genre. Battlefield 6's campaign is a cinematic thrill ride that does just enough to justify its existence. It won't move you emotionally, but it'll drop your jaw more than once. It feels like a team that finally remembered why people loved Battlefield in the first place. Large-scale war, gritty tone, and that sense of chaos where everything can explode at any second. It's not perfect, and it won't convert skeptics. But for fans of the series, it's a satisfying, if fleeting, return to form. Play it once for the spectacle, stay for the multiplayer, and maybe, just maybe, the next campaign will be the one that truly sticks the landing. Thank you so much for watching. Be part of Team Smoking Ape, so like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily gem reviews.